Hi, Dale.
Hi. I got on just as you and Christopher and Kelsey were on. I've never met Kelsey, but I haven't seen Christopher in like, I don't know, 8 years or something. I think the last time I saw him was that Midnight Oil show in
Oh yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been 2017. That's a long time. Anyway.
That is a
Hi.
long time. Yep. Well, hello there. You have to begin by wishing me a happy birthday. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think this out. I guess that would be Betialde Hawebrika, if I'm saying it right in Aramaic, probably. So happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
know,
you.
I still have a video that you made for my dad, rest in peace. I think you sang happy birthday in Swedish or something like that. I don't remember what it was,
Yes.
but
Okay.
I still have
Yes,
that.
it's Swedish. And so all of my Swedish friends out there, here it is. Shall I sing it to myself today? It'll be
Sure.
terrible. Jammo heleva, jammo haleva, jammo haleva uti 100 år. Jag viska haleva, jag viska haleva, jag viska haleva uti 100 år. Leo, woo! Hurra, hurra, hurra! All my Swedish friends just tell me
That's
how
perfect.
terrible that was. But yes, I did it. I sent a happy birthday for your dad.
Yeah, he always had that autographed picture on his wall, and you say, "Have you seen my girlfriend yet?" And they're like, "Wait a second, she looks familiar. She looks really, really familiar." But it's like you'd walk through the nursing home, and all you would hear, like for like 3 hours every night, was Walker Texas Ranger, and they'd be like, I know her from somewhere."
Can't be
Anyway.
your girlfriend. Oh, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
So, yeah, I was thinking back to when you first. Funny because like I screen all my calls, especially back then. And I remember it was Loretta and I, my wife and I are standing next to my answering machine, and I just hear, that goes through the whole message, and then I hear, "Hello, Dale. My name is Nia Peeples," and my hand went whoosh like that straight over, and yeah, you were like you were searching for something Mary Magdalene related. You were like, you came up at the top of like all these different pages. You must have paid a lot for that. And I'm like, I didn't pay anything for it, but it's just been doing it a long time. Anyway, yeah.
Well, yeah, I reached out to you just to help understand all of that because it started showing up for me and I didn't understand any of it. And so Dale is, I think what we call you is an ancient Aramaic wisdom keeper. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so most people don't know that, or at least I didn't know until I started getting into this, that that the language that was spoken was Aramaic, not Hebrew. It was Aramaic. And so what you've become as an expert in how that would translate now and what the meaning of it was, and in particular to the walk of Christ and everything. So you really, I mean, you've been in it for a long time and you've really helped shape my understanding of some of that ancient text that was really important in my awakening to what this is now. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny, like, say 35 years ago, I thought I knew something, and people say, now they're like, what have you learned since then, since 35 years ago that you still believe today? And I'm like, I don't know. I know what it feels like to be open, and I know what it feels like to realize that I'm never really going to know anything in the physical sense. But when you are able to connect in with that place within that is in the center of all of us, speaking of parenthood a little while ago, we're born as that, and then we sort of forget it, and all these things get piled on top.
Yep.
And I think I was shocked 20, 30, 40 years ago. I was even a teenager studying this stuff. And I would go and sit at the feet of the supposed experts, and then this expert would say one thing, and that would say something else, and that one would say something else. And I would look deeper into it and realize a lot of it was a guessing game.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Well, now, I asked, so
Fun.
Dale is also an expert in toning, which actually we started the whole thing off with my friend Christine, who's an amazing vocalist.
Oh, absolutely.
And now she's doing a lot of that toning through her voice because of the frequency of it. So if you can maybe explain what that is, and then did you bring something to share?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I have a powerful tone, which is funny because earlier I was kind of tweaking a translation I had done of the Hail Mary prayer for a talk I'm doing in a couple of weeks. And yeah, Christine's amazing. And toning is essentially, it's something that we do, children do it naturally. When people are sort of passing out of their mortal coil,
yeah,
they tend to get into a very circular breathing pattern, and if you really pay attention, they tend to intone. What does that mean? You know, just a simple, and I'll say this too: autistic people who have autism,
we hear them all
Down
the time.
syndrome. When I worked as an athlete buddy with Special Olympics for the longest time, and if they get overwhelmed a lot of times, you know, with Downs, they just go, and they kind of rock back and forth and hum. Intonation is kind of like, I give a perfect example, you know, speaking of Magdalene or Mother Mary, I would say a lot of people don't realize that in Aramaic, as opposed to Hebrew, we have Adonai, of course, but in Aramaic, the proper pronunciation of the word Lord, what was there originally before Kyrios in the Koine Greek and all the other languages got put on top, the word Lord that would have fallen from Yeshua's lips sounds like this, Maria, Maria. So interesting, if you put the letter Mem, which is an M essentially at the end, you've got Mariam, which is the name Mary. But I'd love to intone Maria and allows people to feel what I mean by intonation. Really what it means is you kind of focus on the vowel sounds, just stretch it out. And intonation, you know, or vocal toning has been around in the Sanskrit culture, Native American, indigenous, the Aborigines. It's been all over forever, probably since the dawn of humans, maybe even before that. And the thing that's powerful about it the most to me is that it really, especially in Aramaic, which was a very tonal language, or Tiwa, Pueblo, Navajo, Lakota, languages that are based more on tonality than on an intellectual structure about something, you can really feel, kind of put yourself in the potential of feeling what they would have felt 2,000 years ago by just toning a single word, more so than studying 800 pages in English about it.
You know something? As you're speaking that and mentioning the Lakota and everything, I'm actually, Jesse Borrego, if you're out there, I'm going to bring you on now so you can
Cool.
be on this with us. Because Jesse's very into this kind of thing too. Hold on. Where are you?
Absolutely.
Oops. If I could spell the name right. There you are. Okay, Jesse, I just sent you an invite because I would love for you to be on this with Dale as he tones. Jesse, you should have received. So just keep talking, Dale, until Jesse gets here. But Jesse, I just sent you an invite.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. Like, you know, there's a quote in honor of a teacher of mine, Joseph Marshall III. He passed back in April of this year. If anybody's ever seen Into the West, the big miniseries, Steven Spielberg, TNT, like 20 years ago, he was the narrator. He played the older version of Loved by the Buffalo. But there's this great quote that I learned from Joseph like 20 years ago that really, it's not about toning, but it really puts me into that place that I feel with toning. And it's an old Lakota adage that says, let the wind blow through you. And I think we have these sort of modern psychological, even religious thoughts, whatever ideas, of being so strong that you can't be shaken. But I think the deeper truth in that, and toning allows that to open up. Breath work does it, music does it, conscious, music, even body work, is the realization that it's the real strength comes not from being able to withstand some kind of tremendous force, but rather to not, to get to a place where that force isn't hooking you anymore.
Right.
So kind of like, there's a great phrase in the Tao Te Ching that says, only the leader who can take on or process the humiliation of the people is fit to rule them. That word humility comes from the Latin root humus, which is that porous, open layer of earth where water and air can flow through. And, speaking of Chuck Norris, I always say it's cool. I'm only a couple of degrees from Bruce Lee because of you knowing Chuck for so long.
Right.
But Bruce was so fascinated with everything about water. And he's like, people were so upset. They're also obsessed with my hands and my technique. But while they're looking at my hand, he was already 10 steps ahead because he wasn't looking, on that physical level as much as he was in the queen where everybody else was watching, so to speak.
Right.
And that came from an inner openness. It didn't come simply, it comes from tons of practice. It comes from doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again so that it looks effortless. But when you're able to kind of get in there and start bending time and space, not necessarily through technique, but through openness, you start realizing we really are conscious co-creators. And if we can be aware of that level of openness in ourselves,
right,
simply from tons of practice, it comes from
Jesse.
I was like, is that my voice? It's not my voice.
Is that mine? Jesse Borrego, let me see your little face. I think he's
but
Jesse, where are you? I see your face. You are frozen. Now you're just kind of bonking around. So this is Jesse. This is my first boyfriend ever on a TV series. Wait, you can't hear me? Okay, I'm texting you now. You're moving like a robot.
I'm surprised my internet works. My great satellite junk out here in the mountains.
Is it not functioning well? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. There, and I can see you out there. You look very serious right now, Jesse. This is my first boyfriend ever on a TV series. Oh
no! Didn't you have? Wasn't Benjamin Bratt your boyfriend in?
I'm texting you now. You're moving like a robot.
I'm surprised my internet works.
No.
My great satellite.
He's got a Jesse has a. He's answering everything after.
I think somebody's watching and on at the same time. I think it's picking up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Like a time delay is what's going on.
Are you on
so I have to quit watching?
I'm not.
Wasn't Benjamin in?
I'm surprised.
You have to get off of one of your devices, Jesse. Answering everything after.
I think somebody's watching on at the same time. I think it's picking up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Like a time delay is what's going on.
Yeah. Are you on
so I have to
one
quit watching?
I'm not.
Wasn't Benjamin in?
You have to get off of one of your devices.
Okay.
I know. Like, that's without mushrooms. What do you?
I got all my guitars on the wall. Let me pull them off. Get Christopher back on. Pull some guitars out. And
Oh God. Okay, where did he? I'm gonna try again. I'm telling you, this tech thing. Okay, Jesse, I invited you again. Now, I wonder why he's got. Why do you think that was happening?
somebody probably when it wasn't me. I mean, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like somebody was like on like maybe had it on Instagram or something, and then was on a phone. I don't know.
That it?
I don't know anything
There.
else that would cause it.
Now?
So
Now you got it, Jesse. Were you on two devices?
No. But I think he's right. I think I was on yours and mine, and it was kind of.
Oh,
So I don't know what I did, but I bailed out and just jumped in again.
yay. How are you, man?
that's how you.
I'm good. I am great.
Damn.
I am thoroughly enjoying your birthday. Happy birthday, Nia!
Thank you, Jesse.
This was a great gift. I'm glad you did this. And I think I want to do it when it's my birthday because this was so much fun. One, to see again your family, the family that you've got by blood, but also the spiritual family that obviously has become very important and is important to us as we get older, you know, because I turned 23. I turned 63 and yeah, you know more people than you used to. So it's wonderful to be able to, you know, embrace that family during that one time of the year when we were made manifest in the physical sense, right? Because
Yep.
that spiritual one keeps going forever and ever and ever, many, many, many times.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool to be able to do that with these great spirits. Dale, pleasure to meet you. Love what you're
Absolutely.
saying. Yeah. And you know, I was going to say earlier, Nia, when you were talking to someone about being on that path and how, I don't remember who it was you were talking to, but just always questing, always looking. But vibration and the fact that you're a
Yes.
song and dance spirit artist, because that's what you are, that vibration you have always had with you. And the one thing that we connected on when we started working together, and the lucky thing about being in that character dynamic in the plot, right?
Yep.
Because how many times can you break up and make up? But it was hilarious. We were always breaking up and making up. But the good thing about it is it got out of everyone, out of the entire ensemble cast, who I loved, but it allowed me to work with you the most. You know, 75% of the time we were working together on numbers,
Yep.
we were choreographing, we were dancing. And to me, that's my love making to the universe. That's what I do. That more than anything is the only thing, you know, I too have been challenged in relationships and I've failed miserably because of my emotional trauma. You know, I was the child of alcoholic parents and substance abuse parents, and it led to very dysfunctional family units. I was raised by my grandmother, my grandparents. And so those of us that succeeded in our family, we've done it despite the odds. But art was the one thing that I could do really well. And it gave me a career, but it also allowed me to share the best of myself with someone, especially my friend here, Nia, who's celebrating a birthday. So I'm going to do something. And you can probably hear in my neighborhood, there's a lot of strays. But, you know, we let the animals be who they are. We let the authorities handle all that. But if you hear them baying in the background, that's not by design. I really wanted mariachis, but you get the baying of the South Side San Antonio Hines. But this is what we do on the birthday, right? And it's our Mexican roots. And it goes something like this. It's called Las Mañanitas, the little mornings. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. A las mujeres bonitas se las cantamos así. Despierta, mi bien, despierta, mira que ya amaneció. Y a los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Happy birthday, Nia. Las Mañanitas and many, 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 many more. Always. But that vibration, I think, that song, and that's one of the things that I continue to do is share the song, because that vibration will always be true.
Yes.
And the truest form of what we share with each other. So I'm so very lucky to have shared that vibration with you in the peaks of our career, but always, you know, whenever we do those reunions and you're on stage with me, Nia, and we're giving it, and the songs that we decide to sing, Higher Love, you know, the songs that you sing for those audiences, that's where we keep that heart vibration going. So don't ever give that up. I know that's always been a challenge, especially in the later years. But if it's one thing that Odin's, you know, path is going to show you through wisdom, is that you do have a very, very special gift. And it's rooted with all this good that you want to do. So I'm so glad, Dale, that you're reiterating that vibration in that original language in Aramaic. One of the things we're doing with the American Indians of Texas group that I work with, they're Coahuiltecans. Well, we got Christianized back in the 1700s. So our language, especially when the United States Authority was designating Native American culture, was, do you still have your language intact? We'd lost ours hundreds of years before. So one of the things we're doing with this group is reclaiming our Pahalate language. But when you listen to the original name for San Antonio, Wanakanwa Pupako Yanaguana, you see in that, and we also use it in our teepee ceremonies, in our bear lodge dances, in our songs. So when you hear that language in song, in prayer now, it becomes like Tonantzin. It becomes like those ancient Aramaic beginnings, and that's the true vibration.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it does bring healing. It brings cultural healing. It brings family healing, because that's one of the things that this organization deals with, is a lot of, in the barrio, a lot of the indigenous community, which is synonymous with the Latino, the immigrant, the marginalized communities, is that they are all hurt. There is an enormous soul wound.
Absolutely.
That, and again, we look at what we accept as the authorities, which is the government, which is the medical profession. We've given up in our society, we've given up our power to them. And one of the things we realize is they're not there to make us feel better. They're not there to heal us. There is a very heinous, system that's been created. It's business.
You know, that's one of the things I write about in my book, is how the system is built to feed itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And survive.
It's not. Yeah, that's
it's a self-survival thing for itself.
Yeah.
By design. By design,
why.
Because that is the spiritual conflict, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and what we do as artists, what you did as an artist, as a young artist, but beyond that, what you've done with your path, sister, you always inspire me. And I want to say this, because we never get the chance to say that when we're in the middle of trying to perform, put on a show. And I know we give each other the confidence of that. And again, it's my joy whenever we do that, because we're able to share time as family. And I've gotten to meet Chris. I've gotten to work with Chris, gotten to sing with your children, and now to see them passing that on. I was the same as you. I'm like, leave that ukulele music on. I grew up with musicians. My father, for all of his challenges, played the accordion and played conjunto music. So we were always surrounded with music. And me and my sister was actually the alpha performer. And I followed in her footsteps, and she was older. Wow. So we were the musical theater kids growing up. That's where I got my early training, was family stuff. Wow. But we looked up to our father, even though he wasn't around. We would listen to his recordings. And then if we got a chance to see him at the dances, oh my God, there's this larger than life figure. Recently, when he passed away, he just talking about COVID. And when I was listening to Maria talk about, man, it was heavy that Drew went all the way there, you know. Yep. But the reality of it is, during that time, we realized how close life and death are to each other. And how do you deal with something that's that close to you constantly?
Yeah.
like our communities are dealing with in the Middle East, like our communities are dealing with in Ukraine, like our communities are dealing with in all of our major urban cities where we're dealing with this type of stress, is how do you deal with constantly being on the edge of life and death? And it is a spiritual quest. So we have to honor that in any marginalized community. Those are our
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. Those are our families. And as responsible, which is, I'm sorry, I'm going to call this, as responsible artists of this society, we have to use that talent and that gift to be able to heal and find ways to heal and advocate for the healing. So I love that you took this time during your birthday where you could have just been stuffing yourself with everything that you like and said, I want to share these incredible personalities with each other. I've been inspired the couple of hours that I've been on, and I thank you. And I'm glad you invited me, and I want to know more and I want to share more. But more than that, I want to sing with you again. So let's figure that out and see when we can do that.
Bring me a higher love.
Yeah, love. Oh,
I grew up with you guys singing. I mean, I every single episode of Fame, I watched every single episode probably 5 or 6 times. So, I had a lot to do with my brother too, because my brother and I never agreed on anything, but we agreed on Fame. There's a few shows that we would agree on. He he loved Head of the Class. I couldn't watch it. I could watch it with the sound off, and just look at it, but I couldn't actually hear the dialogue. It was so bad. But yeah.
It's interesting.
It's kind of surreal for me.
It's interesting because when you do listen to that, Dale, and we get that a lot as older artists, right? We get fans that come to us, but immediately what you talk to them about is not fandom. What you talk about is how something about the show, something about the story, something about the characters resonated within them at a very special time. It's amazing how many stories there are about that. And you start to realize that it was a very, very special time to be involved with a show that was,
And it was a special show, Jesse. It was a special show. I mean, I've been on a lot of series as a regular, and there's something really special about the fans of Fame. There was something about what that show had to say that really impacted people internally.
Yeah. You see that Debbie Allen is getting an honorary Academy Award, right?
No, but good. No, I don't.
Yeah. She's getting one. I think it's like a lifetime achievement. And then Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise is getting a humanitarian, and then I think Dolly Parton's getting one also. But they're like the special honorees of the academies this year. Yeah, so that's beautiful. But to talk about how us being part of, there was no show that was as diverse as that show, that represented as many different perspectives on that show. And I think every time they brought in new cast, and again, being lucky enough to come in with me, Nia, and with Janet, because Janet was in a transition point.
Oh,
she was working on.
Don't realize Janet Jackson was on the show. She was.
Yeah.
Three of us came in at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, she was working.
She came from Good Times, right? She was on Good Times and then came to Fame from Good Times, I believe. Good Times was her first one.
Yeah.
I believe so, but yeah.
But wasn't she also on for a second recurring on right before that also? What was the other one?
There was something else.
What you talking about, Willis?
That's what he's...
the Different Strokes.
I think she
was on Good Times.
Yeah,
she was the neighbor on Good Times. She was like really young. Yeah. But I think I was it Charlene? Was that her name on Different Strokes? I think I remember her being with Todd Bridges. I don't know, but
I think
maybe
so.
It's just in my head.
I think on Different Strokes was her teenage character, and then she turned 18. She turned 18, and she told me one time that her dad was the one who convinced her to try out for the show, right? But it made sense. It made perfect sense. But I think what's incredible is that she was working, I can tell you, she was already working on the control material at that time. So for her, it was just a transition. Because, I mean, in 87 is when she released Control. So she had already been working on it, the material, for a few seasons. So that means that at that time, she was already breaking away. And this was just like a transition. And it makes sense. You know, she was just passing through. But for us, especially for me, I don't know if it's the same with you, Nia, but it definitely was growing up, being able to grow up and figure out film school, figure out what is this, the entertainment industry, like you said. I know there were some moments where we were like, what is going on? What is this business about? But to me, it was a place to be able to figure that out. And the great thing about it was, one, being able to work with Nia right here and the things that we were able to do. And even though our characters, they tried to push them apart, there was a connection, I think, between everything that we did as art. We became family. So even outside of the characters.
Did you know that you were originally hired to play Cindy Gibbs' boyfriend?
No.
The producers told me that when they were looking for your character, they were looking for a love interest for Holly. But when the two of us got on screen together, they were like, those two.
That's kind of cool, because a brown couple, you know, a brown character is one thing. At that time, again, we were pushing the edge.
Yeah.
So, that made total sense.
Yeah. And Janet, I did not know. They said Janet Jackson. There's probably thousands of Janet Jacksons. I didn't know she was a Janet of the Jackson family. I had no idea. And I remember walking outside the hotel room. We stayed at the International Hilton in New York. Remember? We used to stay there when we would shoot in New York on the exteriors. And I remember coming out of my room, and there was just a line of people in the hallway, and I'm like, and they were all lined up outside of Janet's room. This was our first year. Nobody knew who I was.
You're silly, because Janet was huge.
But I didn't know that she was Janet.
That Janet Jackson.
No, I was like, who is this person?
I didn't know she was that Janet Jackson.
Me why? Because remember, she showed up late. She was like doing a Love Boat or something. So she showed up to the rehearsals late. You and I got there on time. And when I say late, I mean days late, not hours late. And so she walked in, and I was like, Janet, hi, I'm the new kid Nia with you. If you need some help, just let me know. I was so, she had her little baseball cap. And
she probably found it refreshing.
Okay, thanks. I did not, I just approached her like a human being. I had no idea. I was just excited. Like, I know you've been gone. Want to help? Oh my
Not only that, remember we were older. So she really was.
Yeah. Oh, she was 19.
Not only young, but she was, she was.
She was a baby and had just married DeBar.
I can't believe you guys got married on that show. I kept going here. I can't believe you guys got married on that show. Everyone, all the new kids were getting married.
Yeah, it's true.
I was like, I just want to play. I'm here in Hollywood.
Jesse was like the hot stuff of the show.
Hid in a candy shop.
The producers were like, what was her name? It was Donald and Patricia.
Oh, I love them. They were so nice.
They would get so giddy around Jesse, like, oh my God, it's Jesse. you were like,
I remember seeing them Married with Children once. Weren't you on Married with Children once too? Was it Bruno?
Okay, so Christina was a fan of the show because she was a dancer.
Oh,
so cool. I had met Christina and her mother at another event, right? And we were friends, we knew each other. And so she, at one point, called me when the show had ended, and she said, hey, I'm on this show, Married with Children. And I was like, yeah, I remember you telling me about it on this, At that time when she told me, she said, yeah, I'm on this new show. It's on that new, TV station Fox. And I went, oh, yeah, Fox. That'll never make it. Yeah. That'll never make it. ABC, NBC, CBS, man, but Fox, give me a break. Of course, then it wound up blowing up and becoming the huge show it was. So I
Right.
was like, oh, that's Christina. So
Right.
she called me years later after the show was huge and she said, hey, I got to dance with somebody on the show and I thought of you. And I said, what's the character, first of all, right? She goes, it's a janitor. I said, these days I'm not playing janitors. I'm trying to get away from playing drug dealers. I'm certainly not going to go to janitors. She goes, no, it's a hot janitor, and I've got the hots for him, and I do a like a dirty dancing thing with him, right?
Oh,
And I
that's fun.
said, okay, that's different. And at that time, I had started doing choreography for theatrical productions and music videos, and so I said, look, I'm doing a lot of choreography, trying to build my reel. Do you have a choreographer? And she said, no. So I actually get the credit at the back for choreographing. Yeah. And it was simple because she was already kind of a dancer. She had the street jazz style that we knew from Fame. So I just said, what are your best moves? We're going to put those in there and we'll do a little bit of dirty dancing. I wanted to dance to Oye Como Va by Santana, but that was a little too
Oh yeah.
Latin for them. So they went for Annabella's, what was it? What did she sing? Annabella's version of Fever in the morning, fever when you hold me tight, you give
Right,
me
right, right, right.
fever. Blam, with a lot of hits. So it was very easy. She was great to work with. And that was another cool thing, like Nia working with artists that take their stuff seriously, that
Yeah, yeah.
have some sort of a technique. Nowadays, with all these, I mean, I hate to see it, I hate to say it, but the rise of the American Idol type of YouTube,
Yeah.
influencer type of TikTok, just because you can present yourself or just because you have a talent, that doesn't mean you have a skill. And that
That's
doesn't mean that it should be the
well,
end of your skill. What you
right.
should be doing is, again, every time I teach these young people, I say, great. At the end of the sessions, I go, wonderful. Now you have a superpower. So are you going to be a supervillain or a superhero? What are you going to do with that power?
What are
And
you
if
gonna
you,
do with it? Speaking of that,
what do
wait,
you do?
Jesse, hold on. I have a surprise for you. Just hold on one sec. I'm gonna bring in one person.
Is it somebody I owe money to? Don't do that to me.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can do this. If it'll let me. Hang on.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
Yay, mija! The mariachis finally arrived.
I love
Happy birthday,
That
Mama.
beautiful.
Thank you guys. I love you.
That's
I had to bring
beautiful.
Oh.
We hope your day has been your day. Yeah, how's your day been?
It's been amazing. I've been on here since 10 and amazing people are showing up and Dale's getting ready to tone and then I'm going to have at the end, I'm closing it out with a numerological reading for the forecast for 2026 with my friend Jamie.
Nice.
I know. What are you guys off to?
We're about to go head to the gym and then go to a community dinner.
What's for dinner? I'm hungry.
We don't know. There's a whole list. They like post a menu. I haven't even checked it. I'm just ready to be surprised by it.
I'm still working on my breakfast.
From 10.
Thank you guys. I love you so much.
You too.
Have fun.
Well, it's good seeing you,
Enjoy your
Jesse.
day.
Love you, Mama. You're the best.
Sweetheart. Kelsey missed. Wait. Kelsey wanted to. No. Wait, where's Kelsey? Oh my gosh.
You too, Miss Sienna. Mwah. Don
I
Ancine
miss
sends
you.
love from London.
Oh, I know that she's in London. That's crazy.
That's Jesse's
Yeah,
daughter.
so you'll have to drop in over there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so beautiful to see you guys.
Wait. Sienna,
Mwah.
can you guys hang 5 minutes?
Oh yeah, there's Kelsey. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so hold on. Let me. I can only have 4 people on. So, Dale, will you tone for us?
Sure. I'll do a
And then-
quick but profound. We talked about Maria. That's what brought us together. So how about that one? The best thing to do, like when you're in a group, it's powerful, but since it's kind of like there's so many of us on, it's probably best to just be open and I'll do it and you receive. So just be aware of the rise and fall of your breath. And then with this sound, let the wind blow through you. My little girl's going nuts in the kitchen right now. That I'll say that Maria, it's what the word Lord actually was in Aramaic, in Yeshua, Jesus's language. But it means the Mar sound is a bedrock of strength, and the Rhea, the Ria, the Aura is an expanse like an ocean or a sky. It's essentially a feminine light that radiates and expands from a bedrock of strength, kind of like standing on the shoreline and seeing the ocean before you. And it's amazing how you could read for 20 years about what the word means and you won't get the experience you get just from toning the sound Maria in any key, however you want, at any time. That's going to be a unique experience. So one of my favorite ones. And it definitely has more power than toning Lord, which has no power to me. That one's just all crunched down on itself. And yeah, vibration and frequency matters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go get that precious little thing of yours. Thank you, Dale. And if people can find you, Dale
If I can
Hoffman.
catch her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Aramaic Mystic on Instagram. This is awesome to be here because of course, I've known Nia for quite a while, but seeing y'all's faces that I've, it's family, even though you've never met me. You're probably more my family than me yours at this point, but yeah, it's just cool. Anyway, from my heart to y'all.
For anybody out there that's interested in studying with you or paying attention to any of your videos.
I'm easy to find. If you just write the word Aramaic, Aramaic, and Dale, Dale, you'll get thousands of pages all about all the crazy things I've done. So I love y'all. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.